sunrise as we continue this morning. Now, mentorship is an important culture that benefits both the mentor and the mentee. Now, the mentee gets an opportunity to develop relationships with the mentor that extends to business and the workplace. Now, this morning we take a look at mentorship for young women and the relationship between the mentor and the mentee. Now, joining us to expand this conversation is a FedGroup Business Development Manager and mentor, Jeanetta Hendricks. Remember, you can be part of our conversation on our social media pages or by simply calling us on 011-447-1742 thanks very much for joining us, Jeanetta, this morning. And me and you were just talking about the significance of mentorship and how we need to broaden the conversation, move beyond just, mentor, mentee, workplace, business aspects. How much influence does mentorship have on one's life?
And I agree with you. Mentorship has been a term that's been coined within the business environment, teaching people how to excel in the business environment. But of late, mentorship is a whole broader aspect. It looks at the mentee more holistically, saying, where does this person come from? What is their career path and what are their aspirations? So we look at the whole person and we say, how do we develop this person emotionally, academically, and even in the workplace, professionally? How do we pull all of those elements together and develop them into leaders, people who take a business further, to hold people?
Because you can't just honestly really just focus on mentoring someone on the work side and then they have a personal life that's sort of like out of balance, so to say, because one affects the other.
That's correct. I mean, so in work life you would coach them necessarily, but mentorship incorporates coaching and learning. It incorporates all of those social aspects, psychosocial aspects even to an extent. If somebody is navigating challenges in their personal life and they don't know. Now, as children, we grow up, we have teachers, we always have people coaching us. We have a swim coach, a teacher, and all types of people telling us how to go about our lives.
Okay, so we asked our viewers on Facebook to share their comments about mentorship, and interesting commentary coming through this morning. Manamulela saying what we basically asked is that how has mentorship influenced their lives, and Manamela saying it has been extremely positive. I went from being a sales consultant to a branch manager in a space of 4 years through the mentorship, guidance, motivation and support of the men I call my brother, father, friend and mentor, Mr. Loazi Roto. I still look up to him even today. And then Luanda saying, oh my goodness, laughing out loud. My mentor turned me into an alcoholic. Every time we had a meeting scheduled, it always turned into drinking spree midweek and would paint Lower Main Road Observatory, Cape Town red. Okay, so this person is in your life, or you've approached them to positively influence you, so they can have a positive impact. But this is how things can also go wrong.
So there is a personal aspect to mentorship. It's important to have a good relationship between mentor and mentee. Clearly, the mentor's got to guide that though and create balance and show the mentee that it's good to have fun. You have a personal relationship, but there are limits, and we've got to guide that, because this is where they learn from. So as mentors, we've got to be very honest with our mentees. We've got to have tough conversations with them, set down the rules, the expectations, the parameters, and actually say to them, what are you expecting from this program, and tell them what you as mentors are expecting from them.
Okay, so basically, when you start, you should have a plan of what is that you expect to get out of that.
Both mentor and mentee.
Both mentor and mentee. Okay, so the importance of it in terms of like the development of young people, and specifically we're talking young women because it is Women's Month, and we're trying to steer women, young women in a certain direction. What are the things that I should be looking for?
Well, young women, and I look in my context, so I'm in financial services, which is male dominated largely. What what young women should be looking for are those strong women that they look up to, strong women that they admire, strong women that they respect and want to emulate.
But why does a woman have to be strong? I mean, what do we mean by that?
So a woman in the context of the business does tend to need to be strong. She does. There's strength in femininity. There's nothing weak about it. But to shy away, and often we find that women tend to feel, I don't need to be strong. I'm feminine. No, so a mentor shows young women that it's fine to be strong, embracing femininity, not be shy or hide your gender, or even compromise on your gender. Stand out, make a difference.
Is it important that women should be mentored by women? What if, a man has got what it takes to mentor me?
Yeah, I don't think there's a hard and fast rule. But a woman knows best how to be a woman, right? And a woman knows best the challenges that women face. So a woman mentoring another younger woman does tend to have a bit of an advantage.
But if you're looking at someone who's a successful businesswoman, and Jeanetta, I'm thinking, here's Jeanetta Hendricks, and I think, she could be my mentor. First of all, I'm just thinking, you look very busy. You look like you have a lot of things that you're dealing with in the company, and etc., and your own family life. How are you going to get time to even mentor me?
And that is one of the challenges in mentorship. One of the challenges a mentor's got to embrace. You've got to shift up and make place and make time and be that reliable person. So understand that you're going to put in a lot more hours. You're going to be sacrificing weekends, evenings, and even work time, because that relationship is quite special.
Do a lot of women in senior business positions actually commit and have time to be able to manage to do that?
I think you make time. I think it's something you make time for. Mentorship is also not something that gets thrust upon you. You as a mentor decide to take on this responsibility.
If you're thinking of taking on that kind of responsibility, I mean, what sort of outcomes should you be thinking about, and things that you want to achieve at the end of the program? And do you need to set time for it? How actually does it work?
You do need to set time for it, because it's a commitment. It's a commitment to a young person.
So you say what, 3 months, 6 months?
It depends on what outcomes are agreed upon. And like we said earlier, you've got to have a plan of action. So what are the outcomes? How much coaching, how much teaching, how much guidance does this person need? But mentorship doesn't end after 2-3 months. It's actually a relationship onward, a professional relationship that continues way after the mentorship or the official coaching is over.
Okay. What are the challenges that could come out of that partnership of mentoring?
Well, I think time definitely is one of the challenges, making time. Another challenge is the eyeball to eyeball straight conversation. That becomes a bit of a challenge, because honesty is very important in mentorship. Both the mentor and the mentee need to be very honest with one another and have tough conversations with one another.
So we're not just talking, business stuff here. We're talking psychological, mental, all other aspects of your life that this person could be part of, influence you in a way.
Yes, absolutely. In my environment, we mentor young people who have lost a parent. One of our product lines is a financial line that supports them financially. But when they get to matric or to age 18, they lose that type of interaction, and we offer them a program. It's a 1-year type program, but we look at this person holistically. So it's not only workplace experience, skills and that type of thing, but it's how can we coach you? What more can we do for you to turn you into this full person, this person that can add value, that can be the best person you could possibly be?
And that's a long-term commitment.
It is a long-term commitment.
It's not a 12-month program.
No, it's not. So the program lasts 12 months, but thereafter we offer them workplace. We actually offer them work, so they continue working with us, continue studying, and continuing this mentorship program with us.
Who are some of your mentors, and maybe even mentees that you work with, and what are some sort of things do you look for in both?
So from a mentee perspective, we look for drive, somebody who wants to make a change in their life, somebody who's not a victim, who doesn't have a victim's mentality, somebody who says, despite my past, I want a positive outcome for my future. They typically are the most fiery mentees that I've had the privilege to work with.
But when you look for a mentor yourself, Jeanetta, what do you look for?
I also do. I look for go. I look for drive. I look for somebody who challenges the norm, and I guess, and this is why I love working for the business that I work with, because we're quite a challenger brand. We challenge conventions, and that is what I personally look for in a mentor. Yeah, people who challenge the status quo.
Okay, so I mean, the country is faced with a lot of orphans and vulnerable children who've lost their parents, as you've correctly said, or who are raised by grandparents, single-headed homes, and a lot of single mothers, etc.
Right.
And I'm thinking I could be one of those young women who'd like to be part of your program or any mentorship program. I mean, how do I go about getting one?
Well, you need to decide where you want to be. What is it that you want out of life? Academically, where would you like to sit? Professionally, where would you like to sit? And then you need to approach these businesses. So our business approaches our mentees, because we approach only the beneficiaries, people who have lost a parent. So if you one of our beneficiaries, you will be approached by us, so it becomes easy. But if not, you need to go and look for the businesses and go and approach them and ask them if these programs exist.
Okay, so we know about the socioeconomic challenges that our country is facing. There's some people who are, sitting in rural South Africa who are not like me and you, who might not have access to a business. But the only, upstanding people in my community could be the local principal, the local pastor's wife, the local nurse, doctor, etc. Why does mentorship have to be that formal? Let's talk the formal versus the informal mentorship.
So mentorship doesn't have to be formal. In fact, I started mentoring in a church youth group. It was as informal as that. You look for mentor moments where you see an opportunity to reach out, to talk to somebody, to teach them something. You look for moments to unlock potential in somebody. So pastors and head of communities are perfect mentors. They don't have to be a formal...
the local wise woman down the road who's raised 8 children. And she's got, she knows. Or a farmer, you know what I mean? She knows. Okay, because I think sometimes we get caught up in the words and the formalities, because obviously we're in a business space. But what about environments where such doesn't exist? There's just that 18-year-old, and then you're a 12-year-old that you need to talk to. Can I start looking at that person in that way? Is it based on the kind of conversations that we have? Is it about comfortability? What kind of things can I ask? And am I constantly looking for something out of that person?
It's that engagement. So if somebody's prepared to give you honest airtime, have an honest discussion with you, a lot gets unlocked in those conversations. We also need to start opening up and embracing conversations. If you in your community see somebody with potential, or somebody who's got latent potential that is being hidden by fear or whatever it is, circumstances, I am challenging people to go out there in their communities and go and have the conversation and start discussing, what is it that I can do for you? And between the two of you, you set the terms of engagement.
Okay, so I can pick any area that I think I've got strength in, and sort of engage and share from that experience. What are some of the things that you get to share on?
So I mostly share on business, but from a social perspective, I do share on etiquette, what is acceptable, what is not acceptable in terms of norms, but also I share on how to be the best possible you can be, how to unlock things, how to eliminate fear factors in your life that are identified, and how to become the best possible you that you can become.
Do you think that's that's probably something that a lot of people struggle with, especially if you're dealing with young women who have lost their parents, the trauma that comes with that. So it'll need some psychological empowerment within that space.
It would, but you don't need a psychology degree. You just need to care enough And when you care enough, the mentee understands that, and they open up to you. And when you care enough and you're honest enough and you guide them, you can do some powerful things together
and change lives. Okay, well, Jeanetta Hendricks from FedGroup Business Development Manager joining us on the conversation for today. Of course, thank you for being part of that and sharing that with us.
Thank you so much.
Great stuff. There you have it. You don't need to have a psychology degree. You could just share. Honest airtime is what people are looking for at most times. Do stay with us right here on Sunrise, and Mark Chase is standing by, of course, to bring us the latest stories making headlines at 7 o'clock.
One day I will have to say goodbye. Goodbye to loyal friends and faithful companions. To butter on hot toast.